You are always free to agree with or disagree with a fact, a truth, or an accusation. However, how do you feel about this tragic instance of the bankrupt and bald? Almost everyone is familiar with the name. In case you missed that, Benjamin Rich, commonly known online as Bald and Bankrupt, specializes in visiting unusual foreign nations or regions of them. His deep fascination with the former Soviet states aided in his ascent up the YouTube success ladder. But now, for some reason, the same is depressing him. Let's start with a brief intro of the victim. Ben Rich is a British of Irish and Polish ancestry, born on July 1, 1974. As mentioned earlier, he's a travel freak, but a different one. Instead of roaming around a peaceful garden full of flowers or diving through beautiful lakes, the man chooses to dig up the dangerous and uncovered spots hidden deep inside the post-Soviet soil. He learned the Russian language and had a business in the UK that went bankrupt. This, combined with his shaved head, inspired the channel's name. Bankrupt for bankruptcy and bald for his appearance, hence Bald and Bankrupt. Moreover, his videos became more popular when he traveled to the eastern region of Europe. The story of his bankruptcy didn't show up on its own. It was tragically revealed when a Reddit user found something extremely relatable to Mr. Bald. In continuation to the claim by the Reddit user, people alleged that Ben committed numerous credit card frauds which forced him to hide his name behind silly online identities such as one titled The Fantasist. This relates to his story, but is it one we could use to pin him down? I don't think so. Anyways, let's get to some more of the incidents to help us clarify. Chechnya incident. Rich is generally a humorous and friendly narrator, but this train incident from Chechnya revealed a dark side of him that no one knew. While filming a video inside a train, Bald was charged for calling a woman chick. As a consequence, Bald was made to apologize live by Chechen officials. But this was only the start, and just after the Chechnya incident, Rich was again trapped into run-ins with authorities in May 2022. Spaceport incident. In a much-awaited video, Bald was on a trip to Kazakhstan in search of a confidential spaceport. With his all-time intentions to dig up into the most dangerous and sensitive territories, he finally made it to the place and rushed into the derelict spaceport to see the Buran, which was a Soviet space shuttle that was created due to fears of the Western powers being able to weaponize space. Assisted by an urban explorer photographer, he located the routes and traveled 30 kilometers to reach the cosmodrome in a remote part of Kazakhstan with his female companion, Alina. However, authorities in the steppe of Kazakhstan detained Bald right outside the abandoned spaceport because the location was classified and under their jurisdiction, leaving Russia and an end to the channel. Since he began exploring the former USSR, they have discovered numerous wonderful examples of Soviet art and technology. However, this time they were in search of the biggest prize of all. They just didn't realize it would cause such a fuss as it did. Their interview with the authorities made it a big exclusive for the channel and a piece of international news. It was no doubt a glory to the Buran. However, in a video titled "The Journey is Over," Ben explained all of his allegations from calling Putin insane and posting a fundraiser for Ukraine to this multinational issue, and said that they had been detained and banished from Russia with a clear call to never turn back. Just after the incident, his interview was made public, in which he was accused of undermining the Russian armed forces, and he might have faced up to 15 years in prison by Russian officials. The biggest controversy: it's quite obvious that a daily life vlogger doesn't end up in prison or out of the country, so there is something that we might have missed in our vision of the case. A group of 12,500 users joined the subreddit Bald and Baldr dossier, specially dedicated to asking the question of whether Bald and his friend Harald Baldr are sex tourists and prolific pickup artists. It's still intriguing what makes people think that Bald is a pickup artist, isn't it? Well, all of that started when people noticed his personality, his behavior towards the women, and his awkwardly weird language of interest. His very first video, titled "I Love India's Policewomen," comes across as incredibly strange and even predatory throughout. To conclude, people still have a little place for their favorite travel vlogger, but we are unaware of what the future holds for him. With this, it's now time to say goodbye. Hope you enjoyed the video. We'll see you at the next one.